Hi, everyone. How are
guys.
you? Kind of a bittersweet day.
It's the 8th. It's September 8th.
September 8th, 2023.
It's a year after Her Majesty, the Queen, passed away. Hey, Becky. Becky's here.
Lane's here.
Aussie Walks, hello.
Gwen's here.
Elaine.
Aussie Walks, you've been here a while. I saw your message like an hour ago and I was excited. I got excited. We're just gonna wait about a minute to let some people come in. But
why are we so melancholy? We can't be that melancholy. Because I saw Princess.
I love Montreal.
Bonjour. Comment ça va? Ça va bien? We could keep going. Hey,
hi,
good afternoon, Aunt Clara.
Hi, Ian. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Ian.
Hi, Banky Wood. How are you? How's it been all over the world? I'm sure, because we're on the West Coast of America and we get it last here. It's only 2:00 here.
Well, it's usually Fanalo Fridays today, but we had to switch it up and do the Queen's Remembrance. And we just wanted to share some fun videos and make everyone smile a bit today. Because it's not really a sad day.
No.
She lived a very long and prosperous life. And today's a celebration.
Yes.
Today's a celebration.
Today's a beautiful day. It's to celebrate a beautiful life. I was saying that today. I go, just what a amazing person. And I think we're gonna start off a video. It's about a 10-minute video, but I think it is important because it sort of brings us back to that week that started today, where we just sort of all went into mourning. We wore black I feel like I wore black for a whole year. I've been wearing black every day.
No, not because of the Queen.
It was a weird.
Black is slimming.
Yes. But it was a really.
Thank you, Kelly.
We all knew it was going to happen one day. But we sort of didn't think it was going to happen, or we weren't prepared it was going to happen.
I think the issue is that she was such a fixture in everyone's life. There was never a time that you didn't. It was like she was the Queen. It's like that's what you thought of when you thought of, the UK, or when you go to visit London. I mean, Nancy and I were 6 years old when we made our first trip overseas, and I remember just that feeling where it's like, oh my God, is she there? Like, is she in that castle? It's just fun. And I don't know if it's being like 90s kids not, but it's just it was a big deal. And then Princess Diana brought so much into our lives, and then the kids, and
we grew up with William and Harry. I mean, they were our age, so it was like we grew up with them. We felt like we were growing up when we went to school. When they went to school,
she was our grandma.
Our grandma Nancy, who was not from this country, she had an affinity for the Queen.
Oh my gosh, she had. Do you guys remember those like cookie trays?
They were like the little cookie trays
with the Queen on it with Prince Philip.
The Diamond Jubilee ones.
Yeah,
whatever her 10-year. I'm trying to think of which one it was.
Okay,
Jubilee.
Do it quietly to think.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. No, cookie cutter trays with her face on it, and then the cups, and then my grandma had like silverware from London, and it was she had everything, and I think that's one of the reasons why we were into it is our grandma,
because our parents were not. Much like Barry Manilow, they really dropped the ball on.
I actually have to give props to Mom, because she's the reason why I watched Prince. What?
You're about to age yourself.
What? I was a baby.
You're about to age yourself.
Nancy said I'm about to age myself.
She gets so mad at me.
I'm not old.
If I even hint of our age, but yet she every time she drops our age. I'll tell her.
Saying my age. I said I was literally a newborn baby, and my mom What?
This
Is a true story.
I don't care. No, I don't care. But don't get upset later when I tell
Are
you and you go, I didn't do
Are
it.
we having a twin fight during the Queen's remembrance?
No, I just think it's
okay.
funny.
Let me finish what I'm saying. So my mom, I was a baby and I was crying, and my mom grabbed me from the crib and she watched Princess Diana and Prince Charles get married, and I was sitting in her lap the whole time. That's it, guys. That's the story.
And Stephanie remembers
it.
You remember
I don't remember it. I was a
baby.
I was a baby. Mom could verify all this, dude.
Gwen, Barry Manilow did meet the Queen. I have a picture of that too. Do you want to see it?
Yeah, let's see the picture.
Let me pull it up real fast so we can just get a couple more people to come in.
Oh, this is where he had the great, well, Becky, thank you. Age is just a number. But the thing is,
I agree with you. I personally don't care about my age. It's Stephanie that will scream if I say one thing.
You're drawing so much more attention to it than anyone in the history of the world would draw attention. I'm a proud 90s kid. Okay, I grew up with Prince Harry and Prince William, and I'm proud to say it. So back off. Yeah, yes, I'm single, and yes, I don't have children, but I have dogs, and maybe one day I'll have a kid. Who knows?
Look at that. Here we go. He did meet the Queen.
Look at that.
She looks thrilled to see him. I would be thrilled.
Yeah, we talked about this before where it's like you could tell she wants to befriend him.
Yeah.
Do you think he gave her those flowers? I think so.
No, I don't.
Oh, really?
No, because I saw the video.
Oh, who gave it to her? LeAnn Rimes?
I don't know. I don't think any of the performers gave her the flowers. I think she gets flowers from.
She went up to the people.
I don't know how it works.
I'm gonna say, Nancy, you gotta calm down today, man. I'm gonna say in my head, Barry Manilow gave her those flowers.
Okay.
And I'm going to use that forever. Okay. And I'm just going to think that forever because it's a beautiful picture.
But yes, she did meet Barry Manilow.
Good, Alley Cat. Good. You're a 90s baby. Awesome. See, we're not that old. It's not that big of a deal.
Okay. So are you ready for the video to kind of bring us down memory lane? And we might discuss what we were going through. This is a tribute for us too, and I want to say that's what I was going to say before Stephanie was bringing up the Diana's wedding.
Are you mad at me?
No, but I'm glad I remembered.
What did I do?
I was reading, you killed the Queen.
You killed her.
It's your fault.
Yeah. You're treating me like that.
I was reading some of your comments on YouTube, and I really do appreciate the people that are our friends who are across the pond and in other countries who are thanking us for being Americans, young Americans. And
well, we're not that young
not
anymore.
That young, but sort of like who respect the Queen, who still love the Queen, and we can show, because I guess you guys really have this perception that Americans are very rude to the monarchy and they didn't respect the Queen. And trust me, there are more of us, there are more people like Stephanie and I than there are of that loud noise that we've been hearing for the last 3 years. That's going away. The Americans love the Queen. We respect the Queen. There are a lot of people that really showed some like love for her today, the news programs and everything. So a
lot of celebrities on Instagram, American celebrities, have been putting up her picture on Instagram stories that I've noticed. And I saw like Olivia Wilde and Olivia Munn. I don't know why the Olivias are in my head right now, but people like that, 90s babies.
So we do, and we're proud to respect, and and I think it's really important that our parents did teach us that even if you don't agree with somebody, or even if you don't agree, I do respect the monarchy and I do agree with the monarchy. But even, let's say you don't, you still have to show respect. There needs to be a sense of respect instilled in everybody at the end of the day, because that's how we're going to get through this time that we're in. It's like,
dude, let's not.
I'm not trying to make it a.
We don't need to make this a movie of the week. Let's just call it what it is. We love
the Queen.
We love the spectacle. We love Princess Catherine. We love William. That's just what
this is.
Oh my God, Prince Louis.
Stephanie, we're gonna play this. Okay, this is all about the Queen. Tomorrow, if you want to talk about other stuff, you can. Okay, because I see where this is going, and we're gonna only talk about the Queen today.
But all Prince Louis
is fine, and I've got all that. So here we go. We're going to talk
Seriously,
about...
what did I do today?
Nothing. You didn't do anything, but we're going to talk about the Queen.
Anybody out there think Nancy's being mean to me? Raise your hand high.
Stephanie, stop.
Oh my God, I'm not doing anything.
Okay. The Queen
Twins.
The Queen stood for patience and understanding and forgiveness. So here we go.
Good evening. Buckingham Palace has announced the death of Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in British history. Her reign lasted for 70 years, from post-war austerity and the end of empire through the expansion of the Commonwealth.
The Queen died peacefully at Balmoral this afternoon.
Thursday, 8th of September 2022, 6:30 p.m. The news that everyone knew would come, and yet no one was really prepared for. The death of the only monarch most Britons ever knew brought to an end a reign which had lasted 70 years and 214 days, the longest in British history. Steadfast in her service to country and Commonwealth, a constant in British post-war public life, the outpouring of grief which greeted her death was powerful and personal. 4 out of 5 of the UK's population weren't even alive when she ascended the throne.
I remember I met the Queen in, was it 2012? She came to St Mark's Secondary School. Yeah, so she's been there my whole life. It's quite a significant death, quite impacted me and my family, yeah.
We're so grateful for what she's done and for what she saw this country through after the war. And, well, the weather is fitting, right? So it's not surprising, but at the same time, it's a big thing. It's devastating.
Quite broken up, to be honest. I was in the military for 12 years, so she's the boss.
That autumn Thursday afternoon began with a discouraging press release from Buckingham Palace, the Queen's doctors expressing their concern for her health. The soon-to-be King and Queen consort were already at Balmoral. Elizabeth II's other children hastily made their way to Aberdeenshire. By the evening, notices of the Queen's death were posted outside Buckingham Palace in London and the Palace of Holyrood House in Edinburgh. The Union flag and the Royal Banner of Scotland were lowered to half-mast. The first of thousands of flowers were laid. People gathered outside the royal residences, unperturbed by the heavy September rain, and black-clad political leaders paid tribute. As dawn broke the following day, king and country began adjusting to a world without their matriarch.
Now, I just want to say, I'm glad that they got a new prime minister, because I don't think that, I don't know how you guys feel about her, but she did not curtsy and as well as I thought she should have. And I don't think she showed enough emotion, but that's just me.
Majesty.
Moment I've been dreading, as I know a lot of people have, but try and keep everything going.
Absolutely.
Come.
Charles's interactions with the crowd outside Buckingham Palace marked an immediate change from that.
This is another thing that if you guys want to answer right now. I thought Charles was so strong that whole week. Yeah. I mean, he lost his mom, and this man had to show.
And people gave him crap about that pen thing.
Oh God,
that is so ridiculous.
But I'm just saying, just look at him. I mean, he did not have to go out there and share his grief with these people, and he did. I mean, this gutted me when I saw him do this.
Of his predecessor, less formal, more tactile. Whilst he performed his functions as a king, there was sympathy for Charles the man, the son.
It was amazing to see his emotion there that he's feeling. He's got a hard job in front of him, but he's had a fantastic mentor. So I wish him well, and it was nice to hear the God Save the King and Hip Hip Hooray and all of those. So I wish him well, and hopefully he does us all proud, and I'm sure he will do.
96 guns rang out from Edinburgh down to Gibraltar, one for every year of the Queen's extraordinary life. The Queen's favourite sport, horse racing, paused for 2 days as a mark of respect. Her late Majesty began the first leg of her final journey, travelling from her beloved Balmoral to her Edinburgh residence, the Palace of Holyrood House. Sweet pea flowers topped her coffin, hand-picked from Balmoral. They were the Queen's favourites. Impromptu guards of honour were formed by the side of the road as
Now, another thing for us to discuss in the discussion is how many of us watched this entire journey.
I watched the whole thing.
I did.
And I was just I thought Princess Anne was so strong.
I was grieving
I
for
watched
Princess
the whole thing.
Anne. I watched the whole thing. I don't know about
I
you
think
guys.
a lot of people
I think
did,
a lot
yeah.
of us did, especially the
pretty
ones in
big
this channel.
deal.
But I watched the entire, where she left Balmoral and went to Holyrood House. It was very emotional.
she passed. Tractors, horses. She was a country woman at heart. Elizabeth's late husband, the Duke of Edinburgh, once joked he was the world's most experienced plaque unveiler. The Queen's final journey to the Scottish capital took her across the spectacular Queensferry Crossing, a bridge she had opened alongside Prince Philip just 5 years previously. Following behind the hearse on the journey south was the Queen's daughter, the Princess Royal.
The ability to have somebody who is kind of epitomises what you think your country stands for has always been a major ambition. And it's a huge advantage if you have somebody who can be recognised as that, and not just in your country, but around the world.
At Holyrood House, the King performed the traditions that his mother had done so often before. As she reposed just metres away inside the palace, Charles inspected the Guard of Honour and received the keys to the city of Edinburgh for the first time as sovereign. The Queen was then carried along the Royal Mile to St Giles Cathedral, where she would lie in state for 24 hours. This time her hearse was followed by all 4 of her children, who kept vigil inside the cathedral.
That was very emotional as well.
Outside, a queue began to form to see the late monarch, a taster of what was to come in London just 2 days later. Tuesday, and as the Queen moved south to London, the new King visited Northern Ireland. Elizabeth and Charles had an unquestioned affection for the island of Ireland, although their visits were politically and emotionally charged affairs. Their affection was and is reciprocated by many, whilst for others north of the border, the British monarch is the symbol of a union they do not wish to be a part of. There was warmth, however, between King Charles and Michelle O'Neill, Vice President of the Irish Republican and Nationalist Party, Sinn Féin.
Thank you so much for the incredibly kind things that you said about my mother.
Well, she played a great role here in terms of reconciliation and building a peace, so it's the end of an era for sure.
The fact that she even said that to Charles is huge. Just the way Queen Elizabeth brought people together and just the respect people had for her.
Yeah.
Wow.
On a rain-soaked evening back in London, crowds lined the streets to watch the moving sight of the Queen's last ever return to Buckingham Palace. The next day, the Queen left the palace for the last time and was taken to Westminster Hall. At nearly 1,000 years old, it is the oldest existing part of the Palace of Westminster. It was there that she would lie in state until the day of her funeral, just as her mother, father, grandfather and great-grandfather had also done. In true British fashion, people queued, and stayed up through the night.
This is what amazed me about not just the British people, but everybody from the Commonwealth, everyone from the world came to this. I mean, if I could have gotten on a plane, I would have.
Yeah.
I mean, this was amazing to me. And this was probably I don't know, everything was very amazing. You guys are amazing people.
To see the UK's matriarch of 70 years just one last time. It was lovingly dubbed the Elizabeth Line, after the Underground Railway named in her honour. A wait of 24 hours would normally test anyone's resolve. Instead, as people from across the world filed past iconic London sites as far back as Tower Bridge, the queue became an example of humanity at its finest.
You look like a man who like a mint, yeah. Give me a few. There you go. Here for a purpose, which is coming together with other people in a like-minded nature just to pay their respects. And everybody's been very well behaved. And eating my mints, more importantly.
There's 6 of us. Yeah, no, and we've all close bond now, haven't we? Exchange phone numbers.
New WhatsApp group and everything.
Yeah.
That's it.
Footballing royalty joined the queue. David Beckham waited 12 hours to reach Westminster Hall.
I thought by coming at 2 a.m. it was going to be a little bit quieter. I was wrong. Everybody had that in mind. But the people here, you know, all ages, you know, there was like I said, an 84-year-old lady walking around. There was a 90-year-old gentleman walking around. Everybody wants to be here to be part of this experience and celebrate what Her Majesty has done for us.
The Archbishop.
He's just wonderful.
Aussie Walks called him a real gent.
He's just amazing. I mean, and then he even said, I remember one interview, he said, I'm mostly here from my grandparents.
Yeah.
Because my grandparents would have been here.
It's just that mentality we all had. It's like our grandparents really did, like
old school respect mentality. The Archbishop of Canterbury, he was going around comforting people, and he even was saying stuff to comfort me.
Yeah,
like because he tried to explain like what our grief was, what we were going through. He really just kind of took everybody's pain on his shoulders, and I thought he did a great job too.
Bishop of Canterbury, leader of the Church of England, was among the many volunteers who donned a high-vis jacket and offered support to the committed queuers. On the final day, anyone's leftover food was donated to those in need.
If you've got any non-perishable sealed food and drink, we are collecting for the Phoenix Project Food Bank.
Formerly the Prince of Wales, Charles paid his first visit to Cardiff as king. A service to remember Her late Majesty.
Dear friends, we have come together this morning to give thanks to God for the life of Queen Elizabeth II.
Wales was close to the Queen's heart, nowhere more so than the village of Aberfan, devastated by a coal tip spill which killed 116 children, most under the age of 10. Elizabeth was deeply moved by her first visit to the bereaved community, and she returned to the village many times. In the days after her death, people remembered the Queen's delicate yet powerful responses in moments of national tragedy. The presence and words of the head of state providing strength when people felt weak.
I want to express my admiration for the people of our capital city who, in the aftermath of yesterday's bombings, are calmly determined to resume their normal lives. That is the answer to this outrage.
She was extraordinary in these disasters and traumatic occasions. It was, again, all very quiet, and it was almost as if she was there as a mother and a parent, you know, and a grandparent, to sympathise with people who'd lost or suffered. Nothing contrived about it at all. And she always trod that fine line between showing breaking down, which must have been quite hard not to do in certain circumstances, and showing maximum sympathy and empathy. And I have to say, I think most people feel this, that if you woke up in bed one day and you were involved in an accident, you want to see her rather than certain prime ministers one can think of. All prime ministers, actually. She's the one person who perhaps you would want from outside. And that's a great tribute to her, really. And I think most people felt that. And she did it with understated grace and sympathy, always, without fail.
And then I remember she asked, was I there on the night? Where was I?
Yeah, I live right in front of it. We were evacuated about 1 o'clock. The flames were just...
This is the Grenfell fire. Now, somebody who we're not naming for another 2 hours, we're allowed to not talk about, capitalized on this. But notice how the Queen was there too, and the Queen gave them support and love, but didn't capitalize on it.
Well, of course not.
Yes, exactly.
Even though I was in shock, I still felt comfortable. I felt happy to talk to her. And it was still this sadness, but this feeling of we're not alone.
The Queen has always been there. And she's not only always been there, she's always been herself. She's been consistent. She made a promise when she was 21 that she would serve her country and the Commonwealth for as long as she lived. And she delivered on that promise.
On the fourth day of Her late Majesty's lying in state, the Queen's grandchildren stood vigil by her coffin. Solemn, ordered, a rare glimpse of all 8 grandchildren coming together, mourning alongside members of the public who shared their love for the Queen. Elizabeth's affection for her grandchildren was always evident, as at Prince Harry's christening, talking to Peter and Zara about their new puppy.
It's called Dash. Dash. And you know the word you use when you're cross. Dash. It comes out practically well as a dog's name, you see.
The queue outside Westminster Hall wasn't getting any shorter, and the King and Prince of Wales came to Lambeth Bridge on Saturday to show their appreciation to those who patiently waited.
We come from Peru.
The Queen's predecessors reigned over a Britain whose empire was expanding. In the early years of her reign, Elizabeth oversaw an imperial shrinking and the emergence of the Commonwealth of Nations. At the time of her death, the Queen was sovereign of 14 countries besides the UK. Those nations marked the passing of a Queen who saw many of them become independent states. Justin Welby would deliver the sermon at the Queen's funeral in a Christian service. Although Supreme Governor of the Church of England, the Queen respected people of all faiths and none, an admiration which was reciprocated.
We're all mourning, irrespective of your religion, your faith, your race. We are all the same. I don't mind being here in the Gurdwara celebrating the remembrance of the Queen. My faith has taught me to love everybody.
When you look at Her Majesty's reign, you see that her service, despite being rooted in her own faith, actually acknowledged and accepted diversity, and that was appreciated by those who came here.
Monday, the 19th of September, the day of the funeral, but before the sun broke, the last member of the public paid their respects.
And that's it. So that gets us, obviously, we remember the funeral. And I just wanted to go over the week and sort of reflection that the whole world was having over her. And I really liked the end where they were talking about the religion. And I mean, it was such a blur that whole week. It was nice seeing that whole compilation of everything that was going on. But for them to talk about the religion at the end, where they still felt that they were one. The Church of England was brought everyone together. And it's just like, I'm kind of jealous because I wish we had that here in America. You know, it's just, there's so much division. And by having her presence, it was so, I don't know. I mean, what do you, soothing? Yeah. Soothing, or just like the people at the Grenfell.
I didn't even know she was there.
You never know she's there. She's at everything.
Yeah.
But some people like to Kate and William were there. They go every year. But again, we're not going to talk about that right now.
Oh yeah.
What?
I said Betty. She's late, but our
just read it.
Oh, we can't mention certain people until what time is it? We have an hour and a half because we're in a blackout.
Yeah.
We're in a blackout today. And
don't worry. Tomorrow's show, I'm going to go crazy.
Yeah. Tomorrow we have a live show. So don't worry. We're going to restrain ourselves.
I've got a lot to say, but today is a day of reflection and mourning and grief and love. So I sort of put together like some of my favorite pictures that I thought we could just like discuss. This is her early life that I like. This is her baby picture, 1926. She was extremely close to her family. That's like, we know that. It was during, when she was born, they did not know that they were going to be the king and queen.
Well, they were a tight knit foursome.
Very tight.
Very close.
Very close. It was just her and Margaret growing up. And again, they did not know right away that her dad was going to be the king of England.
No, his brother was.
And they sort of wanted to just live that sort of existence of being in this family, this, you know, they knew who they were. They knew they were important people, but they also were very humble. And her mom, I believe, made her grow up to be humble. They were extremely close, like Stephanie said, because it was wartime. You had World War II going on. So they had to stay. Obviously, her love of corgis is something that we love, because Stephanie's dog Rocky was half corgi, and he looked a lot like her dog from childhood.
They're the best dogs.
They're really smart, and
He lived to be 23.
Yeah, look at how cute that is. I mean, she just grew up around corgis. It's really cute.
Well, she's so cute.
Yeah, just some pictures. And, you know, she grew up to be just a beautiful woman. You know, a lot of people,
inside and out.
Just a lot of people said Margaret was a beauty, and Margaret was the beauty. Margaret was the wild child, but she was right there with her. They were both beautiful, beautiful women. And again, she had a huge bond with her dad.
Yeah, her dad and her were close.
Mm-hmm.
Very close.
This was when they were going, oh God, I can't remember, but it was during the war. But again, they were very tight knit. So it's what I loved about this.
She had to leave her parents for a while, or had to leave her dad for a while during the war. Wasn't that going on?
Well, she was a medic.
Right. No, I thought as a kid or something they had to separate for a while.
No, they were always together. Her mom made sure of that. Her mom was always there.
Right.
Her mom was
I thought that,
not cool with you know, leaving them alone, or no, not at all. They were always together. They traveled together. You know, I'm sure there were times where they couldn't, but
Ian, we'll talk about that
an
tomorrow.
ambulance driver and a mechanic. You're right. I'm sorry. Thank you, Aussie Walks. I was wrong about that. Not a medic, but a mechanic.
Right. When the war started, the kids were sent away to live away from the bombing. Yeah, I remember that. So they were separated for a while, and it was really hard because they would communicate with just letters.
Mm-hmm.
But they had to be careful because during wartime, the letters could have been intercepted by you know, the bad guys. So they had to be really careful. But I remember that time, and she talked about it being away from her parents and how hard it was. But I mean, at least they had each other. They were close as twins. So
yeah.
But yeah, they were separated.
When she met the love of her life, Philip, she was 13, 14?
I don't know.
She was very young. And she knew she was going to marry him. She just was in love with him. And who wouldn't be? He was just so beautiful.
And it's okay to have a crush at 14.
Yeah.
It's not like
it wasn't like
then. It wasn't like, you know, sexual. It was just like, I have a crush on him. It's puppy love. That's what it's like.
I think she was the happiest in the beginning when she was just Princess Elizabeth with Philip. This is Charles. She just looked ecstatic. She fulfilled her duty. She's got a boy.
He was head of the house.
I mean, and they're just so happy. They pop out Anne and Charles right away, and they go live in Malta for a while. I mean, and they're happy. They're on this island, and it's warm, and there's no craziness, and you know, they're just really, really happy. And I think when it was just the four of them, she was the most complete with herself. I really do believe that. That's Anne.
Our other kids were
I really do. Of course they were important. I'm just talking as far as like duty.
She wasn't the queen
She
yet.
wasn't the queen.
Yeah.
But when her father died, you saw a part of her die because she was so close to him.
Yeah.
And he did die so young, guys.
Oh my God.
So
And he
young.
kept having surgery. So it was probably a confusing time for her. She wasn't even in town when it happened because he kept it from her. He didn't want to worry her. I mean, it was a lot. That's a lot. And and it's interesting too, because if you look back at the funeral of her father, you can see her step up, but she still, her mom is now the matriarch.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
She steps up as queen.
Yeah.
But
she definitely always showed her
mom respect.
She showed her mother respect, and that was another thing that I really admired about her. She had a love of cameras. She loved photos. Here she is with who we all suspect her favorite, for some odd reason.
That's
but
Andrew.
And you can kind of see, I found some cute pictures where she really did have a bond with this kid.
Well,
now this is her and Edward.
Oh, that's cute.
And isn't he cute? I think she was so happy to have a baby later in life.
Oh yeah.
I think she was thrilled.
Mhm.
And to give the country another prince, I think she was very happy. You know, you can watch The Crown and you can speculate, and you could, you know, Netflix is they're pieces of crap over there. But no, these
we're not talking about that right now.
These pictures are show a woman that was devoted to her family. That's why I'm showing mostly family pictures. But, you know, she just loved her family. And there's Andrew with Edward and her kids, and
cute little
Balmoral. I think they were happy in Balmoral. Her later years, you know, kids are teenagers now. You could just, you know, tell. But there she is with the camera again. I would love to see those pictures one day.
Princess Catherine does the same thing. She takes pictures of her kids like crazy, and it's awesome.
So here I'd like to just talk about her mom a little bit. Her mom,
the Queen Mom.
Her mom, you know, was very close to King Charles because
he was the first.
He was the first, but she also left King Charles alone a lot because she was she was with Philip. Now, I heard that her and Philip when they would go on these trips for like long periods of time, they would chase each other at night. They could not keep their hands off each other.
Love.
They were in love. So I could see it's like, Mom, take the kids, you know, but her mom was always there. And I have a really cute video.
Her mom definitely had a bond with the grandchildren. You could tell. It was like she was definitely the second mom.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
And
awesome. And you can see the kids were close to her too.
Absolutely.
And they treated her like our mom had us grow up thinking our grandma was our second mom too. We would sometimes go, hi ma, when we were babies. So, you know, I just think that's just everyone should do that, but you know, I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just saying
everyone should do it.
It just gives, you know,
respect our elders.
Respect everybody. So she loved her mother. And when her mother passed away, now I'm going to put these together, these instances together. She was extremely close to her sister. She protected her sister. Princess Margaret had so many ups and downs and ins and outs, and you know, she was a party girl. And towards the end, I'm not going to show any pictures of that, but towards the end, it was really hard for her. And I'm sure it was hard on the Queen to see her sister like that. But unfortunately, and I can say from, I don't even want to think about it, but I could not imagine being that close to my sister. I mean, they were like twins. I want to say they were like twins. And to have to lose her younger sister is probably just devastated her and her mom, because her mom then passed away a couple months later or 6 months after Margaret died. She did. So
not the Queen Mom did.
Yeah, the Queen Mom passed away in the same year. Year. Yeah.
Didn't
But
know
I believe that happened because I think any mother would want to be with their other child. She knew Elizabeth was okay. She knew Elizabeth had Prince Philip. She knew she had her children. But I don't think the Queen was ever the same after that, after losing her sister. It was, when did she pass away?
2002.
I know. When did Margaret die?
Way earlier than that.
Can you put it down? Yeah. I think she was never the same after that. Can somebody tell Stephanie that the Queen Mom died months between Margaret, please?
I'm just verifying because I didn't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't watch The Crown, dude.
I don't watch The Crown either.
I don't have this
Stephanie,
information.
I've known this for years.
It's interesting
It has nothing
to me.
to do with The Crown.
No, but it's interesting to me, all this stuff.
But of course, I'm going to get to the love of her life.
And Nancy was right.
Of course, I was right. The love
she
of her
died
life.
in February 2002. That's sad.
I told you they died.
Man,
she died within months.
God, that's sad.
Yeah. The love of her life, Prince Philip. He was always there. Not always there, but he was there. But
wait, don't backpedal that.
no, but I mean,
they had their own thing.
Language.
Okay, guys? They had their own thing that worked for them. Okay. And it's just the way it works.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's not.
But there was definite love there. It was a love
duh.
story. And when she lost him, that's when I started getting concerned.
I knew it was one of those situations where it was like the Queen Mum and Margaret. It was like,
the Duchess of Edinburgh, Sophie, took this picture. And if you, I should have found the video for us. If you ever watch it, Sophie cries when she talks about taking
Ian, it
this.
was 2 months later.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Thank you, Ian. This was one of the last pictures they took together. And you can't fake that look you give someone. You just can't fake it. It's just love. It's just respect, and it's love. And it's so beautiful. I felt for her. My heart broke for her
especially during the pandemic and nobody was able to do anything.
You guys, I mean, this picture should have been on the cover of. Can you stop clicking that?
Oh, sorry.
Because we don't have the mic.
Sorry.
That should have been on the cover of Time magazine. I mean, that was the most emotional picture. Oh, God, I don't even want to talk about it.
Karen was at the Queen Mother's 100th birthday.
Oh, fun. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the funeral, but the relationships that the Queen had with the people at the funeral. Obviously, there was Kate. Kate looked fantastic that day. She was wearing
Princess Catherine.
Princess Catherine, the Princess of Wales, was wearing that pearl choker that the Japanese emperor gave her, the Queen. And now I guess it's Catherine's, because she's been wearing it a lot lately. And I just love it on her. She looks fantastic. She looked fantastic.
She was wearing her earrings today at the church.
Oh, I didn't.
She was wearing the pearl.
Yeah. What was amazing about Catherine? I felt that Catherine was representing us.
Oh yeah.
Because she wasn't a blood relative. She came into it like we did, where she's a commoner. She knew the Queen. She respected the Queen all her life. So I think Kate's reserved grief.
Princess
Catherine. Sorry, guys. Princess Catherine's reserved grief and steadfastness and strength, I think, was there to help all of us.
Yeah.
While everyone else broke down, like the family. And in the very beginning, the Queen took her under her wing, and Princess Catherine, really took that to heart. She listened to the Queen.
Well, she knew she was the mother of the king, and she knew she was going to be queen one day.
And she had a duty.
Yeah. And she loves her husband. Of course she was going to listen.
Thank you for agreeing with me. I was worrying about her.
I was really worried.
You know why? Because the next picture I saw of her was she was dedicating that Edinburgh rose in his honor, and she just did not look herself.
Yeah.
She looked frail. And
I would imagine she had her diagnosis by then too.
No, I know, but I think you just give up at a time.
Yeah.
Another obviously honorable mention when it comes to the funeral was David Beckham. We talked about that. I thought that was really awesome that he did that. So,
well, everyone's saying he did it because he wants his knighthood. That's what people in the UK are saying.
Well, I don't.
It might be.
That. I don't.
But waiting in line for 12 hours.
Yeah, give him his knighthood.
I think you should give it to him. 12 hours is a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time.
I think everybody in that line should be given a knighthood.
And
that's
plus,
what I think.
he has this fandom, so he can teach respect to younger kids. And I think what he did was a good
talk about
thing.
David Beckham. We're torn on that one.
Of course, there were the.
Hi, Linda from Canada.
Hi. Of course, there were the grandchildren. Queen Elizabeth loved her grandchildren, you guys. She loved them. Oops. I'm so sorry.
Back to the corgis.
Yeah. End of the show. I had it all in order, and then all of a sudden Stephanie went, "You hit the wrong button," and I did. When the grandchildren did the line of
that
visual, that was crazy. I wanted to bring up
it.
Mike Tyndall at the funeral.
Why?
I just wanted to bring this up real fast, and I want to see, because I want to see what everyone else thinks in the chat.
Yeah.
he was visibly upset.
Oh God.
He was crying. I was so touched by that, because this is the thing about rugby players. They love country, beer, and their queen. And he loved the queen. You could see him like at the horse shows and everything he was at. He would always and she loved him. He would always put a smile on her face. So I just wanted to give him a little shout out.
And those two are incredibly close to King Charles as well. So.
Yes. Here's Zara with her grandmother, watching the horses, and there she is on her lap. I mean, just this was a grandmother. This was a grandmother.
Yes.
There she is with her grandchildren. There's Peter. There's Zara. There's William. There's Beatrice.
We love Sophie.
Yeah. I mean, and there's cute little
He's
James.
so cute.
There's cute little James, who's turning into a very fine looking.
He's very cute
boy.
Yeah. He's gonna have.
And you could just tell that towards the end, she was definitely getting Prince William, the Prince of Wales ready.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's going to do a fantastic job. I mean, he's ready for it, guys. He's definitely ready for it. But just because
he has his mom and her it's in his blood. Yeah. It's just, he loves people.
Now we get to the great grandchildren. Obviously, these two stood out. These two stood out. I think she loved her grandchildren and great grandchildren equally. But obviously, these two stood out. I really like the little pin that Charlotte was wearing, the little diamond pin. It was the Queen Mother's. It's a little horseshoe. I thought that was really cute. But she really did. She was there for her family, you guys. She was there. Here she is at Charlotte's christening, talking with Prince George. Now, I love this picture, you guys. I put this in because she's staring right at Charlotte.
It's so cute.
It is so cute. It just goes to show you the bond at the very beginning between those two. I think there was a lot, that you didn't see behind the scenes. I heard that she would spend the night there and have little tea parties and, just all the things that a family would do. Here's one of the pictures at Balmoral. That they would spend their summers.
That was the last one.
Obviously, we all remember one of the last balcony appearances, the Jubilee of Little Louis, where he sort of made his debut into the world
of Broadway.
No, he was fantastic, and it was really cute how he was talking to the Queen. It was really cute.
Yeah, Little Miss. I can't believe how fast a year went either. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was the last, this was the last appearance of the Queen. And
you just could tell they adore her.
They do. And Prince George, because she turned to Prince George at one point and she goes, "Can you believe all the people that came?" And he goes, "No." And he looked at her. So I thought that was a really sweet moment. I'm glad a photographer captured that.
Sorry, my dog is crying to go out.
She's fine.
She never cries.
There's Emma. There is the late Queen's horse, Emma. I got to admit, when I saw that, I cried.
Of course.
I cried like a freaking baby.
Nancy, you don't have to admit it to everyone. we believe you.
I almost died when I saw
We believe you.
And then, of course, we get to the corgis. This was so emotional. We all know now that they're at the Royal Lodge with Fergie and Andrew. I have no problem with that because I think they're excellent dog owners. And I know that the Queen would not have given her corgis to anybody that she thought would not be good.
Well, they gave them to her,
and she was.
They gifted the two dogs.
But exactly.
So going back, to them,
but I'm just
adorable.
saying. Obviously, the person that stood out the most for me was the Duchess of Edinburgh, Sophie Wessex.
Well, she was protecting the kids too. You could tell.
You cannot.
I'm not going to mention anything. But.
Yeah, she was protecting the kids. She was the mama bear that day for the whole week. But she was so close to the Queen. She had so much in common with the Queen. They would sit, I guess, and discuss World War II history for hours. Mm-hmm. And when Sophie's mother died, Sophie was incredibly close to her mom. The Queen was there for her.
Yeah.
She was there for her. So, I thought Sophie was just outstanding. I'm so glad she became the Duchess of Edinburgh.
God,
the
she
Queen
looks so
would
much like
that.
Princess Diana there. How much she looks like.
But you know what I noticed? And again, you did see this splash in our face constantly, was Sophie was on a lot of engagements with the Queen, especially towards the end. So this was definitely a confidant and a surrogate daughter to her.
Absolutely.
For sure. For sure. So good on Sophie. Obviously, now we get to her kids, the vigil. You know, it was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking when I saw Andrew break down during the parade. It broke my heart.
When Andrew was standing next to the corgis, I cried.
Oh yeah,
I did.
Yeah,
I cried.
Here is Edward when they're young, and Edward was the baby. I think he got away with everything, but he also stayed closer to home than everybody else.
He's a good kid. He was a good
Well,
kid.
Andrew stayed the closest, but because he lived in Windsor, but he definitely stayed with her a lot. Again, I had to go back. You look at these pictures now because you don't notice at the time, but they were there with her at a lot of engagements. So I think, Edward was always baby. Obviously now we get to Andrew. Andrew, I believe, was her favorite. I don't think mothers have favorites, but I think he was the closest to her. And I'm very, very,
I
very
think that
glad
she took care of him.
Exactly.
Okay, that's
Here
what
he
I
is
think.
with the corgis.
Look how
He's
cute that
checking
is.
on them. I thought that this moment was brilliant. Now, this was at Prince William's Thanksgiving service. This was the last service she was at. I thought that by her having Andrew bring her up the aisle, this was her message to everybody. Guys, I'm not going to be around here forever. I need you to give my son a break. Please, please, please don't give my son a hard time. He's my son. And this was her way of saying that. And from that day forward, I didn't say a negative thing about him. And I believe he should be back in his royal duties. I do. That's how I feel. But how do you guys feel? And then we get to Anne, Princess Anne. She loved her mom. She idolized her mom.
She loved her mom.
She loved her dad and her mom. But she was there, and she was a protector. She was such a protector, but the way she's
strong. She was the strong one. There's always one strong kid, and Anne was the strong one. We all know it.
Yeah.
Andrew's the weakest, and she's the strongest. I'm sorry, that's the truth. And she's the strongest.
But they were so, again, I want to go back to Charles and Anne. It was just the four of them for a really long time. And it was just the two kids for a really long time. And I think Anne and Charles are always going to have that bond, King Charles and Princess Anne.
She's going to take care of them.
And, that's just never going to go away. So I think they know that. And we're going to always see these two doing together. And then we obviously, at the end, we get to Charles. It was a really hard thing to watch. That man, he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. And now I'm just getting to, we could talk about that. These are just some pictures I found of her final days.
Well, how much pressure? You know it's going to happen one day, but no one is fully prepared. To rule the monarchy. I mean, what are you're going to sound like you wake up one day and you're like, hey, that would be fun. Nobody wants the job.
Well, and also, in order to be the king, he knew that he was going to lose his mom. And don't you think that was going on through William's head the entire time at the funeral too? He's like, the next time this happens, the next time I become king, I guess I'm going to be king, but my dad's going to be dead.
Yeah, it's not.
Do you guys understand how hard that must have been for him? And this was the last appearance she made. She started tearing up. She was crying because of all the people that showed up.
She knew.
I think everybody knew. And there she is on Emma.
I think she knew.
Oh, yeah. She knew it was going to be her last time. This
That's
was
the last picture of the grandchildren,
great-grandchildren.
Great-grandchildren, sorry.
At Balmoral.
Well, no, because they're grandchildren.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's two
We sometimes
grandchildren
get
and then
them.
great-grandchildren.
Yeah. And I thought this picture, I'm glad that this picture came out late. And there's that last picture of her, and look at the smile on her face. She's just a beautiful woman that touched everybody.
Just a beautiful soul.
We were very lucky to have her in our life, in our orbit, in our ethos. And I miss her. We all miss her, you know. Just wanted to show some funny videos real fast. I know Stephanie's like, wrap it up.
No, I'm my dog is literally
She's fine.
My dog's at my feet crying. I don't know why.
Here's just some videos I found on Instagram. Now, if these are any of your videos that you guys put together, so anybody in this chat, I want to give you full, I see these on Twitter and then I download them. They have the names. These are mostly people made them on TikTok. I don't have TikTok. So
I do.
If you do see a video that you made, please give me a shout out so I can give you credit for it. Because I did not make these videos, but I thought this was so cute. Who knows what he's even saying right now to her, but I thought that was so cute. But this one,
Where's Richard?
this is her grandchildren at Balmoral.
Mm-hmm.
And
William chooses to walk next to his grandmother, which I find so cute. Because if you had the choice between getting up on the pony, or walking with your grandma, I always chose walking with my grandma.
And look at how William then, guys, notice how William then waves at the stage.
All right. Bathroom's in there. Ow, it's my foot you're standing on. Go. Now, should we go that way? Yeah. Or do you want to go in the sun? That way. You got more fun? That way. Come on, Ricky. Come on.
That's just such a cute video, you guys. I love that video. It's so cute. And here's the racetrack one I was telling you about. This one's really cute because her mom is sort of like making she puts the binoculars up to her eyes. Here, I'll play it. You guys are gonna like this.
This is my friend who kissed my hand down there. She'll come up after the next one. All right.
I present you the Royal Box Sweepstakes. Many congratulations.
Kind of. Thank you very much. What do I get?
Well, you get £16.
£16.
£16 winning.
That video always reminds me of like a mother daughter that particular age going to Vegas for the weekend and hanging out and just but not really gambling, just doing the penny slots.
Yeah,
that's it.
My mom,
I mean, you just have like the carton of pennies and you're constantly putting them.
My mom would take we'd all go with my grandma, my mom, my dad, Stephanie and I, but Stephanie and I were little and we would hang out with our dad at like circus, but my mom would take my grandma to Reno because my grandma loved the penny or the 5
penny slots or
slots.
5 nickel slots.
And she just loved it.
Yeah, and you don't make any money.
You park her in front of there all day. And so it was something that meant a lot to my grandma. So my mom we would go and bring her.
That reminds me of that, where it's like, I won 16 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just the rush
is,
of it.
William and Catherine's graduation. There's Catherine graduating, and they're
Princess
sitting
Catherine
there. Princess
looks
Catherine, the Princess of Wales. Sorry. Little Miss, I love seeing her this way too. That's why I picked these videos because I think she's human. She's a grandma, and but she's like, look, she's like, look, he's coming up. There's Prince William, St. Andrews.
She must have been so proud.
She was proud. You could tell she was very proud. Very nice. Very nice.
It's like when grandma used to come to our school plays.
It reminds me of that completely.
Yeah, it's like,
our grandma was everywhere and she was so proud. You couldn't take the smile off her face if you tried.
Yeah.
You just couldn't do it. Very nice. Very nice. What a lovely woman. We miss her.
Sucks. This sucks.
It had to happen. I'm glad she's at peace. I really hope that I hope we can all rally around King Charles.
Well,
I know
we'll
he's
see.
having a hard start.
I love how you're wanting all this love and unity, but tomorrow during our live, I can't wait to hear what you have to say.
Tomorrow it's going down.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be interesting how you change your tune, Nancy.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't like people that take advantage of nice, older people.
Yeah,
or people in
elderly
general,
people.
or try to make money off it.
Oh, I know.
Or I don't know. Call them names.
Dude, we got
a day before
no,
they die.
we can't talk about it until an hour.
Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed that.
That was just a little memory lane. Again, we're gonna do Manilow Mondays.
Thank you, Alley Cat.
We're gonna do Manilow Monday because we didn't do Fanilow
Yeah.
Friday today. So we're gonna make up for it on Monday, and then we have our live show tomorrow. What time are we doing?
Tomorrow at 1 o'clock, like we always do.
So we do 1 o'clock
Pacific Standard Time.
our time on the west coast of America.
9 o'clock.
9 p.m.
Is it still British summertime, or are you guys at Greenwich Mean Time? I don't know how it works over there. I have no idea.
I think it's still
I apologize.
British.
I don't know.
Yeah,
British
I got it
Standard
wrong
Time.
today, and Karen called me out, and I was
Okay.
like, she texted me, and I was like, oh God, I'm so
Guys,
embarrassed.
just go on Google. Do what I do. I go on Google and I type in our time, Pacific Standard Time, and I'll say
Okay,
and then it just tells you.
We're doing a live tomorrow, guys.
Okay.
Just go on our Twitter. Let's do.
We're
on.
we're gonna go. We're gonna do it. The Royal Tea. So just like and subscribe, all that crap. There's our Twitter. All right, just go on our Twitter and I'll put the thing, and I'll also put it on YouTube. I put it on the community board at YouTube too. So,
And we're on Instagram as well.
And we're on the gram.
Sidley
At
Twins.
Sidley Twins. Sorry. There it is. At Sidley Twins.
Would it be anything
Would it
else?
be anything else?
Sidley Twits.
Thank
like
you,
Miller used
Aussie
to call
Walks.
us.
It's been lovely. It's been nice walking down memory lane with everybody.
Hope everyone has a nice sleep over at the UK and over
go to bed, guys.
Yeah, go to bed. Yeah, it's time to go to bed.
Time to go to
We
bed.
got an hour until we could talk about those two fools. So let's let's have sweet dreams until then.
Yeah.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what she said.
That's what she said. Can we not end it on that note? It's funny. God save.
It's been so melancholy around here. We have to say something.
God save the late queen, and God save the king.
Yeah. Good. Thanks, guys. Love you guys.
Love you guys.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Bye.
Love you. Bye.